What's good, fam? It's Mr. Kelly with Good to the Hood, talking about anything and everything that impacts the culture. And today I'm talking with a young man I've known for quite some time from my same hood. Should I give him your government name or what we call
I'm
it?
cool with the government. Either way, give him both.
Well,
give him
so
both.
his government is Derek, but of course those that know him just call him Deuce.
Yeah, no.
Right? So I got to ask these questions. Probably should have asked that before we was on air, but nonetheless.
It's all good.
So today, I asked Deuce what he wanted to talk about today, and he said he would really like to talk about something that he feels we don't really address enough in the culture, and that is how the community, specifically black folks, how we don't support each other in the way that we should, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so kind of take me into that. Like, what specifically, like, how so?
So, I mean, with everything going on in the world right now, it's real easy to see how people are frustrated, but nobody's giving helping hands. Everybody has an opinion on what's wrong, so we should probably find opinions what's right and focus on those more to bring our culture up together.
So give me an example. Okay, so what's something specific that you feel like just doesn't get the support, or we're not supporting each other in the way that we should?
Basically, one of my biggest things is the different ventures that we have going on within the community.
Like business?
Businesses.
Okay.
We've got different, I know personally people that have clothing stores, people that do hair, people that do tattoos. That's something that they are passionate about. It's their dream.
Well, I mean, I got a regular barber that I go to,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a black-owned business. Barber's black, and I mean, I've been going to this dude for years.
Yeah.
And then the barber shop I went to before then, it was the same scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So how else can we support them, or how are we not supporting?
Well,
You know what I mean? Like,
I do think it might be something that's generational. I think that your generation was a little more unified than what we are now.
Okay.
And I really can't say why. I don't understand why. That's why I wanted to bring up the topic.
No. Okay. So when you put it like that with the generational thing, because I have had similar thoughts in different areas. Because so my dad's generation, they were literally doing civil rights walks with Dr. King, and they were living through the Jim Crow era, and they were like, blacks only, water fountain, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I will say the older generation was definitely far more unified. I mean, it was like really like when it was time to boycott the buses down south, like
Everybody did it.
Like, well, I guess we just all walking to work.
Yeah.
And so in that regard, because I've always felt in my generation like we don't necessarily support each other as much as we should. The biggest thing, one of the things, since you're talking about clothing companies and all that, people that own those businesses, that used to always piss me off, because I used to have a clothing company years ago, is everybody wants to hook up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, everybody wants to hook up. And the hookup, unfortunately, translates into usually free.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even like give me the family friends discount.
Yeah. Oh, I'll promote you.
Yeah.
Just let me wear it.
And the thing is, man, when I used to go to these events, go to a Juneteenth festival, and you have the booth, and you have all these vendors and all this, and everybody would want the hookup. So in that regard, we definitely don't. And the people that want the hookup from you are people that don't even know you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I used to always tell people, I was like, well, what booth are you at?
Yeah.
Right? And most of the time they didn't have any booth. But if they did have a booth, I'd be like, well, then let's do a trade. If I want to give you a shirt, then you got to feed, my staff.
Yeah.
How much do you charge for this? Well, this is what I charge for a shirt. And then
find the equivalent.
And do whatever.
Yep.
So no, I agree with that as far as in business. Why do you think that is, though?
I think in our growing up, we got hit with a whole lot of do things for yourself, be selfish, like it's all about you. Like,
yeah.
And it's kind of thrown things off, you know what I mean? Because sometimes somebody else's opinion, somebody else's feelings matter. So you have to take that into account. It shouldn't change what you're going to do. But I think that was something that was pushed on us as kids, and it stuck so hard that we are more concerned with how we are going to benefit from the situation.
Yeah, maybe it's exaggerated. Well, I will say this. So the crazy thing is America well, I won't even say America. I'll say the black community, I think the difference between the generation and why it's kind of deteriorated, I'll say, is the generation from the 50s and 60s were very communal.
Mm-hmm.
And arguably, a lot of societies were maybe like that, but specifically with the black community, I think we were very communal, and then it did become more about the individual.
Yeah.
You know, and I think to the point to where, which isn't necessarily bad, but I think it got to the point to where it's just abstract. Like it went to the extreme of being an individual, and so much of an individual to where we actually encourage being egocentric.
Yeah.
And selfish,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because everybody's always like, well, just do you. Well, I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
And
you do you. I'm gonna do.
and this is what I want to. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to say, and it's like we've gone overboard with that.
Yeah.
And so we've gone overboard to where it's tunnel vision, and then we don't care
About anything else.
Because look, other successful communities typically are far more communal.
Yeah.
If you think about
For
it,
sure.
right? Like if you look at the Asian community, like let's say, like if you go into a stereotypical Korean business, right? If it's a Korean family business, everybody's working there.
Yeah, everybody.
Mom's is working there, pops is working there, the
Aunties
kids,
and uncles,
everybody. And
everybody.
and in fact, when I was growing up, I knew some families that were Vietnamese, and they would come over, and it'd be like maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 of them, and they'd all be in one house. Everybody be in the house, right?
Yep.
And all the resources and money would go to that house, and then when somebody was up to the point to where they wanted to get their own crib, then they would get out their house, but everybody else still stayed here.
Yeah.
Right, but by them doing that, that allowed that individual to save up money, to get a new car,
Get their own.
to get their own furniture and whatever, or at least have the resources to do it. So then when they went out on their own, they're not starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Jewish community is big like that. Italians are big like that. The Hispanic community is big like that. So somewhere
Everybody
along
talks crap about him for it too. Like, oh, it's 4 families in one house.
man,
They're,
better take note.
you know, they helping each other out. Like, why we should do it? You know what I mean?
And man, we're real bad with that. The only thing I will say, and this is even sad to say, but it's true, just because we've had to. The black community typically comes together when there's movements.
Yeah. Something bad happened.
Right. You know, the civil rights. I mean, it was a civil rights movement because people were just getting treated like trash.
Yeah.
You know, couldn't vote and were segregated and getting beat and lynched and all this. And now the Black Lives Matter movement, we have some pretty good support. Nowhere near like what it was back then.
No.
And now with the killing of George Floyd, with the police brutality and all the riots and so forth, we're coming together. But it's because of tragedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the only time we get each other's back.
Well, even then too, it's
tragedy.
It's the tragedy happens, and then we come together, and it feels good, and it feels like something's gonna change, and then the dust settles, and everybody goes back to their everyday life, and it's out of sight, out of mind. You know.
I think one of the things that has impacted us as a whole, and society as a whole, but us specifically, because we're already starting kind of lower than ground zero, is the instant gratification thing.
Yeah.
Right? And so that feeds into, like, look, the civil rights movement, man, was going on for years. I mean, years. And Dr. King and the community were marching for years and years and going to meetings and talking to people in positions of power and so for long periods of time. What happens with us is when when a tragedy occurs, it's the hot trending topic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The social media.
And how long does it last? You know, it lasts maybe a few days, maybe it lasts for a few weeks, and then people feel like, well, I've gone to a protest, if you're lucky, I've gone to a protest, well, I've liked and shared a number of videos and memes for a week. This should constitute change.
Yep. I said my piece. Now it should be different.
Right. And I
think that's a selfish thing too. They said their part, so change it now because I said
Yeah, I mean, there's power in numbers, and because we've lost our sense of community and communal interaction and so forth, we've lost a lot of power. Yeah. Because look, when everybody got off the bus and they realized, when they boycotted the buses, and everybody got off the bus companies realized they were losing mad revenue. mad revenue.
Yep.
And it forced change.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, like, here's the thing. I mean, we really have to figure this out, actually, because even when people say, hey, make them earn your vote, right? First of all, America ain't but 12% black. Out of that 12%, what percentage is of voting age?
Yeah.
So that even lowers that. So now it's not even 12%. Now I don't know what it is, but let's just say it drops it down to 9%.
Yeah.
Right?
I was gonna say 8, 9.
Yeah, so it dropped down to 8-9%. Out of the 8-9% remaining, how many of that percentage is actually going out and voting?
Yeah.
For whatever reason it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Which is cool. You're free to do.
Yeah.
What you do. But
so I think our strategy has to be a little bit different, man.
Yeah.
But even it starts at a smaller level. Before we can even get to that level, like you were saying, businesses, right?
Yeah.
Supporting businesses. Even on a smaller level, I don't know that we support each other enough. Like when you're talking about like local artists.
Yeah.
Just local artists.
Yeah.
You know, like music, painting, tattoos. We're not supporting each other in that regard. So I mean, we got to start there.
Yeah.
First.
And I think that, like you were saying, it's communal. Once you start getting involved in your community, you start finding these local artists, local businesses, local black people doing their living their dreams.
Yeah.
And you can help.
So the other side of that is we should seek out, which sometimes is difficult, we should seek out maybe these businesses that are black owned, black operated, family operated, that whole kind of thing. But then the other piece is, if you have one of those companies, it should be your goal to provide the best service and best product that you can. So it can't be, I'm just going to patronize you because you're black.
Because you're black, yeah.
And it can't be, I'm just going to go to you because you're black, right? But it definitely should have some type of
influence.
It should definitely have, there you go. It should definitely have influence, and then we provide the best that we can provide. Because look, a lot of times a small business can't compete with big companies. Like you hear about that all the time. Walmart comes into communities and
mom and pop shops,
man, and wipes everybody out.
Yep.
Because that mom and pop shop has to sell, like, okay, so you know what, look, on 60 Minutes some years back, and if I can find the footage, I'll put it up, but 60 Minutes, Walmart moved into this small town, right? Quasi small town. And there's a guy that sold bikes and repaired bikes and all of this. Right. So he would get these bikes, even from China, and he'd get them wholesale at a pretty low rate. Then he'd mark them up 20%, which is pretty normal, 20-25%, to pay for what he's got to pay for and feed his people and keep the business operating. So he'd mark it up whatever, 25%, and sell those bikes. Walmart came in, and the price that Walmart was selling the same or similar bikes was as low or lower than what he was getting the bike at wholesale. Because look, Walmart has it's volume.
Ships full of them.
Exactly. So this guy is like, hey, can I get a dozen bikes every 2 weeks or a dozen bikes every month? And Walmart is like, man, I'll take 3 train car loads.
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Today.
Today. And we're gonna place another order
tomorrow.
You know what I'm saying? So because of that volume discount, you know, and so people, look, we have to understand that if we're going to support a black-owned business in the community, we probably have to come out the pocket a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a family-owned business, they're not going to have a dollar menu.
Nope.
They're not going to have unlimited Ritalins
drinks
for $5.99.
No.
And unlimited refills and whatever. No. Like an Applebee's or something, because they can do that because they're nationwide. I mean, they might even be global. Yeah, exactly. So they're making it up in just sheer volume, and big companies can do that because if this location is not profitable, this location is so profitable that it equalizes it. Yeah. Right. That's part of it. That's part of McDonald's strategy. Actually, McDonald's will purposely put a McDonald's in an area where it won't be profitable just to keep the competition from being there.
Really.
McDonald's. Wow. That's a whole nother day. I want to talk about corporations one day. We won't do it on this one. No, but the corporate game is intense.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. McDonald's does stuff like when there's a new development, they're just putting down streets.
Yeah.
McDonald's will go and buy all 4 corners of the major intersecting streets, and then they'll they own all 4, right?
Yeah.
Then they'll put up their location, and then on the other remaining 3, they lease that land out to whoever wants it. So a lot of times when you see a gas station, sometimes even when you see a Burger King or whatever,
They're paying McDonald's.
they're paying McDonald's for that. That's gangsta on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
But we'll
That's
get on-
what we need to move towards. That's the goal. That's the goal.
So we'll get on that. And but okay, so while we're on this topic, I did want to say, in thinking about it, one of the things that impacts us too negatively is the black community has bought into, society already looks at us like this, but the black community has bought into, we are monolithic. So we must all like the same music, have the same swag, and whatever.
Dress the same,
Now,
talk
your
the same.
generation and my son's generation is a little bit different. I noticed this when you guys were in high school.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, there's certain things that you couldn't do because they're like, oh, that's white people-ish. Like, in fact, one of the things that comes to mind is my son, and you probably remember this,
Yeah.
they would skateboard, they would skate, right?
They taught me how to ollie.
Yeah. See, so y'all would skate. Man, so when I was growing up, behind the grocery store over there, the skaters or the new wavers would all skate there, and they had like ramps and half pipes and all this, whatever. And there'd be white kids and Asian kids. But there was no black or brown people over there.
No.
And if you even acted like you wanted to go and do that, they're like, man, what are you doing?
Yeah, you're ostracized.
Yeah. They were looking at you like, oh, you a sellout this, whatever. Even to the point, and this was bad in the 80s, even to the point where if you were real articulate, like let's say you liked literature, and you liked to read, or you liked whatever, you were freaking bashed, dude, because like, oh, you're trying to act white or talk white.
Yeah.
You're like, because I want to read,
right?
or because
I want to learn something.
Yeah, man.
Lord forbid.
So I will say that I did see that transition. I was happy to see the transition kind of lighten up a little bit on that because y'all guys were skating and I didn't think they were like a chess club a little bit.
We made the chess club.
Yeah, y'all look. So black folks in the high school, they made the chess club.
And everybody thought it was a joke. Everybody laughed like, yeah, right. And then the chess club was the cracking place to be after school. And we were teaching people how to play chess. That's what we were doing.
Yeah, I still need to learn, actually.
No way.
I'm not beyond checkers.
Yeah,
tic-tac-toe.
it's cool. We can sit down with Junior.
Yeah.
We can make it happen.
But, and that impacts supporting one another because now you feel like you have to fit into this box.
Yeah.
And if you're the brother that is, and again, this has changed, at least a noticeable amount, but if you were the brother that was really into fashion and you wanted to be like a tailor or a seamster or whatever, like, oh, I think I could create something that would flow off a woman's body like this, or if we wore whatever, man, back in the day you couldn't do that.
No.
I mean, not openly, not publicly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta like a stage name. You gotta put it under somebody else. Yeah.
So that impacts that we're talking about with your local artists and people being able to pursue their dreams and us as a community supporting those individuals. That's a big one.
Yeah,
that's a big one.
Definitely.
So, but do you still feel it out there though?
A little bit. I mean, even though we got to do a little bit more as a black community in my generation growing up.
So
I still got called white. Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
so
we millennials. So I mean, I was in speech team. I did poetry.
Nice.
People looked at me funny, mock trial, and I'm one of the only black guys on the team. And
what is mock trial?
Fake court cases, but we actually trained with real lawyers. We went and sat in front of real judges and figured out how the court system works. Which I think a lot of black people could use. They could benefit from. Not for nefarious reasons, but so you can understand where the line is drawn.
No, absolutely. Look, I could have used it for both reasons.
Yeah, right.
Honestly. Look, I tell. So there's a Christian rapper I listen to, Lecrae. A lot of people have heard of Lecrae.
Yeah.
And he has a song where he tells black people, he says, look, you need to study everything. Study the Constitution, study the Bible, study the law.
Yeah.
Like, get it all. Malcolm X said, read everything because you never know where you might get an idea.
Word.
Right? So, so I'm glad to see that that's changed. And isn't that? But yeah, as a community, we absolutely need to support each other. There's actually a huge, and I did this on, I know because you brought it up earlier off camera, is, and I brought it up in a financial literacy video I did, is the largest black-owned bank in America is called Bank One. And they actually came out with I think maybe a year ago, a Harriet Tubman debit card.
Oh, right.
in honor of her.
Yeah.
And they did that because the current administration put the kibosh
On the 20?
on the 20.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool for them. And I did look into them a little bit, just real briefly. And to be honest, it looked like it was a bit difficult to get an account there.
Really?
Yeah, because they're not in our state.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe I have to do a little bit more research into just as a symbol. I think we should do that even just as a symbol of quote unquote unity and the communal spirit that we're talking about is I just open a checking account there and throw $50 or a Hondo in there and just
let it sit.
Let it be what it is.
You know?
Maybe get a little, if I get a credit card through them, maybe that's what I get my gas with.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? A little something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely, we need to support each other better. And it's not. I see some people where, like with a clothing company, look, if somebody's there and you agree with the motto or the movement or the mission of that clothing company, right? Buy a T-shirt. But I think even more importantly than the buying of the T-shirt, is spread the word.
Period.
Yeah.
My friends that she owns, she's in Arizona right now. I have her jacket. Whenever I go out to a concert, that's the jacket I wear.
She has a clothing company, or she like designer?
Designed the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, what is the company called?
Concrete, like Tupac. Tupac's one of her big influences.
Okay. Is that with a C? C-O-N?
Well, it's Crete. K-R-E-T.
Oh, K-R-E-T?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if she has a web link or whatever, I'm gonna put that.
I'm a tagger.
I'm gonna put that contact information in the description of this video, and let's start there. And then maybe in the comments, if you know other individuals in the community with whatever, throw their links in the comments. Go ahead and put that down there. Small steps to complete a marathon, right?
One step at a time.
Okay.
We win the race. You know what I mean?
Well, cool. Yeah, this was actually. Yeah, we might have to revisit this and kind of see
where it comes from. What happens with it?
See what happens. See where it goes.
Yeah, I'm down.
But for now, this is Mr. Kelly.
Your boy Deuce.
And this is Good to the Hood. Do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and absolutely drop some businesses in the comments.
Yeah, share the love.
But until next time, peace. Oh yeah, brother.